video. Let nothing get in your way of creating your content. Okay. Bam. Okay. I've been wanting to do this video, and I'm gonna do this video. Greetings to all. What in the lover, man? Anywho, I'm gonna get y'all a close up anyway. Eventually. Of this masterpiece. Whatever, cuz. Yeah. This is a masterpiece that I created, that was gifted to me, or I was given to create. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Man, that lightning look good. Anywho. Hey, y'all. It's been a minute since I did a video, man. You know what I'm saying? Anywho. Okay, so look at, listen here, man. Speak through me. Speak through me for the highest purpose of humanity and all that will see this. Listen here. This ain't just happened overnight. Let me tell y'all something. You got a gift, you share it. This ain't just happened overnight. Yes, you go through relationships, you go through moments with people, you go through so many things. But let me tell you something. Don't you ever give up. Because it's really just you in this shit. It's really you, but you're not alone. Let me just get y'all close up, man. This is cotton. There's so many things in here. Let me tell y'all something. Do not be confused. Do not get caught up in these illusions about what you can create. You know, you gotta have expensive paint. This beautiful being that I was able to create this masterpiece of is the daughter, and the being that I created this with, co-created this with. This is her mother. This is her beautiful mother. You know what? I ain't even gonna trip over that light because ain't nothing stopping. Nothing. Ain't nothing stopping nothing. Anywho, this is her mother. You still can see it. It's beautiful as ever. Let me express to y'all something about artists or people that create. Shit like this don't just happen overnight, okay? Let me tell you something. This don't just happen overnight. Everybody who sold you them dreams like, oh, this just happens overnight and this just magically appear, the money, the materials, the everything. Let me tell you, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. People come along your journey, you may not have $5 to your name. And not to mention, the beautiful being that actually came into my life upon my journey when I was going through a dark moment of just the relationships that I was having. I'll bring this closer so y'all can see me. The relationships that I was having, you know, with the relationships I was healing from, the relationships that I was learning so much of myself from. And this beautiful being here. Yep. Which is a reflection of myself. This is our daughter at the moment in the connection we had. Her mother. We co-created. And this is Aaliyah while she was in her mother's belly at the moment. We took this picture. Actually, it was a picture of her. We were in Michigan. And, were we in Michigan? Yeah. And this actually was a picture of her, but I actually created this in the inside to show the reflection of what I saw inside of not only myself but inside of her and what I was currently experiencing. So let me tell y'all something. When artists are creating something, if they are true to what they are doing and love what they're doing, you will see it displayed on everything, in everything. It's a message without saying a word. That being said, this masterpiece was created from a store called Five Below. There was paint that was like, again, $5 and below. So we went to this store. She invested this canvas. She invested, and like I said before, like, or not before, upon my journey, I realized how everyone was like a puzzle piece. And so, like, where I'm at in my life, I'm realizing how grateful I am for everyone. And so, I was going through just so much upon my journey. And then it's like I felt like she was heaven sent to come and bring forth this beacon of light. Even though I realized I was going through something with someone else, she's also was going through someone. And in this process of traveling, Aliyah Divine was created. I don't question why certain things happen, but for me, it really brought awareness to see the depths of what life really not what life in our journey really how it is and can have an effect on everyone. So while the man that's hanging from the heart is like that of when her mother entered my life at a dark moment, I wanted to let go of everything. But something was telling me to hold on to love. And as you can see, like even the waves make a heart. And when she entered my life, it was like a part of like someone bringing the moon or all the things that I wanted to run away from, like the emotions, all of my darkness I wanted to hide from. And so like this depiction of like the lion being myself and then this being Aaliyah, but it's like a reflection of myself, the growth. And so in the picture, it's like her mom is really looking like this. And so it's like she's looking down at her belly, which is Aaliyah. The falcon is like a representation of like spiritual awareness, like seeing from having higher vision, clarity, a great hunter. The sunflowers represents like enlightenment, sun, rays, awareness. Uh, what else? Like, yeah, much more things, but it's like, you see the butterfly. It's like represents like evolution of life, where I was at on my journey. It's like coming out of this, but not yet ready to fly. And these flowers from like the heart, you see that grows. And then this water represents like the cleansing, how like, it's watering itself. And the sea turtle representing like the journey in life through waters, the rainbow representing, the rainbow people, or like the rainbow prophecy of people from different cultures, creeds, and around the world that will come together and make the world green again. This is something that our ancestors or my ancestors would speak about. And it's so much more to depth to like why I realize how some people, well, I don't question what the universe sends to us and how people come upon your journey. So this is like where I was and how I realized how much um, we can question things about life and our journey. Truly, there's nothing to question when everything happens in divine timing, or everything happens according to divine will. Um, so, this beautiful hand is like, even if I fall, the Creator, I will always be protected. Um, the cub, of course, representing like me being the lion and her mother being the lioness and she being the cub, representing entirely like the trinity of man, woman, and child. So I would like to just uh, speak about like my growth and my journey, which I feel like a lot of artists, we always show our creations and what we do, but do we really speak about the depths of what we have experienced? I keep moving around because I really want like to get myself positioned real good. And so, I had to realize like it's not meant for me to just keep this information, a lot of stuff to myself. A lot of stuff is meant for us to share, and it's not just for us. So, yeah, I'm getting better at this, but I'm not a judge. I don't really care. What is this message get across? So, yeah, man. A lot of which I realize that people come upon our journeys when we're going through a lot of dark and chaotic moments, and they come with this light, but it's like a like this peace. One thing I will say, that her mother came into my life as to reflect back to me the compassion to have for not only myself but for others. So a lot of this had to show me about myself, relationships that I was in. I know I speak about a lot of these things that we grow up in childhood. This is something that I realized that, again, in my childhood, I saw uh, my mother being abused. I saw my mother being beat on. I saw my mother with black eyes. I saw my mother go through some things as a child. We know that. Why am I seeing this? Why do I need to experience this? And so, how could I say this? It's like, I feel a lot of us, we need to share our message with the world, because it will encourage others to more than just believe, but to know that to use your gifts to share and to brighten others' paths. Even if you're not there to stay, you're being some type of light to guide them through um, whatever dark moment they're going in or going through. So me seeing a lot of the physical abuse and verbal abuse, not just in my home or growing up in the homes that I were in, um, in relationships, I realized how I would carry that vision of the verbal abuse. I would carry that emotional baggage of what my mother went through. I would carry that vision of how I saw cousins or other people's relationships being displayed. So that pretty much laid the blueprint out for what was to come. And it's like, it may sound like unfair or unfortunate, but it was purposeful. Some people don't make it out. My mother actually made it out. made it through. Um, I no longer have to carry those burdens. I will no longer carry those burdens. I feel some of us that are given these gifts, whether it be of artistry or uh, communication, speaking, nurturing, however that is that you see it, we are giving these gifts to experience those dark moments that we don't, we sometimes don't know how we're going to get out of it. Um, as artists, like, we go through these things, and some of us are afraid to speak on it. Uh, I had to acknowledge when I was in relationships because of carrying that emotional baggage, carrying those built up emotions and ass whoopings and all that anger and frustration, all those things into relationships after relationships after relationships with women and into my adulthood. And then there were verbal abuse that would trigger my these childhood experience, like trigger them, and it's like bring it right before my eyes again. Don't matter how the woman or whomever it was in front of me looked, it would trigger those dark things, so that it felt like I was reliving it. So I feel a lot of artists, we need to speak about that. Yeah, we speak about, I went through this, I went through that, but it's to the depths of like, yo, I was at a place where I realized that why was I, why did I feel the need to hurt someone? Why did I feel the need to put my hands or to verbally speak like as if someone was below me? Where did I learn that from? And it's like, for a point in my life, I went from victim, and then I learned now to walk in victory. I learned now that this was the point where when Aaliyah was being formed and created, I knew I wanted to change for myself. I knew I wanted to change the narrative of the future generations. I knew I wanted to change the narrative of how I was viewed, not caring for the acceptance of my family or anybody else, but it's like making that choice to change that narrative of how I wanted to be seen in this world, or how I no longer I wish to be seen for myself. And so, man, it goes so deep to where, like, I've experienced being in relationships where one thing was not, it wasn't just sexual, it became verbal abusive. It became to where I would allow myself to be hit on. And then again, that was reflecting back to what um, I experienced. Then it got to that point where it's like when you kick anybody when they're down, it's like it builds up. It's like a volcano eruption. And then boom, that child or that innocence, that rage begins to build, and one begins to turn and lash out. And so I start to learn myself and wonder why it is that I needed to do any of those things. So that as an artist, I say, what was it, around 2016, 17, that was the relationship where I felt that was no more. I was in relationships where I realized that a lot of us, I speak for myself, like grow up in relationships where we think the healthy relationship is the verbal abuse, or the physical abuse is healthy, the overindulging in alcoholism, the overindulging in uh, sexual deeds or doing things for money. It's so many things that we can go into depth about. Um, and I realize a lot of these things, like getting away from certain relationships, or actually it's like running away when you're still going to run into yourself in whatever relationship or connection that is like waiting on you, whether it be with whomever. These things are still there, like buried. And as an artist, I realized that I had to channel that energy, like looking into the darkness of where a lot of my skeletons, or I would say gifts, because a lot of those things were just, they were dormant. They were there for purpose. It didn't matter where I went around the world, no matter how much I traveled. Those childhood traumas or those experiences, those dark moments, still follow me up to the moment to where, whether I wanted to accept them or acknowledge them, it still was going to surface. I do know that what is hidden will someday fight to be acknowledged. I feel like that's with all things that have been hidden in the darkness. Everything will soon enough come to the light. And I express these things to, for those to forgive and free their mind and their spirit and their heart on as to why you do what you do. Um, there will be others, those that judge are judging themselves. And so I knew that the gift that I was given for a purpose to share, and it wasn't just for me. It was always bigger than money. It was bigger than, it's much more bigger than me. You know, it's much more bigger than just seeing. When you see this, it's you have to see it in its entirety. It's not just this. It's not just the creation from the hand, but it's the bigger picture that, that's seen here. So up to this point in my life on my journey, and we're gonna get this out. Know that everyone has experienced something. Yes, these were the hands at some point in my life that when I was younger, I would fight a lot or I would lash out, not knowing why. But these also are the hands now that choose to heal. At one point in the past, they chose to harm because unconsciously I wasn't aware of my own worth. But now I know my worth. I can stand in that power. So when you learn to stand in your power and live in your authenticity and your truth, no one could come. When you know the truth about who you are, no one can come and try to change that narrative, knowing that you have accepted and faced your own demons and darkness, and know that no one can dim your light. So as an artist, I had to go through a journey to get to this. It's always ever unfolding. There are others out there that do not speak about it, but man, I saw things that I had to see. It's the acknowledgement and the accountability of what we do here now. And then when we acknowledge and accept that accountability and get that deep acceptance of who we are, then we can change the narrative of what true beauty, beauty is beautiful too, booty, what we can change, what true beauty is, which comes from within. I had to accept and look within myself. I had to go within the deepest and darkest depths of who I was. I had to go to the places where ride by, I had to walk by, I had to step, touch the doorknobs. I would go do things like just to remember like what I experienced as a child. I would go to the houses. I would go places and travel and be reminded of the memories. And see, this is what makes it seems like an artist is like someone described like on the verge of like a genius, but at the same time like some may say like a maniac or whatever. But the truth is that everyone has had some type of dark thoughts or created some type of scenarios, or everyone has been through something. People see it displayed on TV or whatever they watch all the time. But I'm gonna tell you, there's no way that people are gonna sit here and act like everyone isn't going through something. Just don't give the fuck up. I didn't give up. I'm grateful for everyone on my journey up to now. I'm so grateful because I didn't give up on myself, and my ancestors wouldn't let me give up. Because I have to realize what all I've experienced and then what my ancestors experienced up to this moment prior to me even being who I am now cannot be weighed by what he or she say. I don't have to say a word. I'll let my actions speak because everyone has a past, or everyone I would say your past is somewhat your future. And then when I say like your past is your future, it's like if you really look at what you've experienced in your past, your future is a way of changing that narrative and to expand in a way what you have experienced in your past. Everyone has a dark past, but what can you expand now into the light so people can see? And it doesn't matter if they see you as this whatever it is, purity or whatever. It doesn't matter as long as you are able to look into the mirror, look within yourself, and create magic from that shit. This is magical. No one can come and tell me this isn't magic. Okay? I created this in this trailer. This is a trailer home. And guess what? I'm not ashamed. Neither should you. This masterpiece was created in a trailer. For some of you that aren't familiar with a trailer home, it's like if you watch 8 Mile and Eminem was talking about living home in a trailer with my mom. Guess what? A lot of that stuff means nothing to material. It's what you come here to do. It's your legacy. At a point in my life, when I was watch TV and I would see stuff growing up, it's like the programming on how kids or people should be ashamed of where they are. No, you should never be ashamed of what you are and who you are. Because truly it's your choice to leave this earth in shame or glory. And I'm at a place right now. It's 2 days before my solar return and November 14th. And I'm grateful for traveling where I have and making divine connections and to be here now and to be sharing this message with all those that will see it. Because you should never be ashamed of what the Creator has given you, what you are here to co-create. You should never be ashamed of your gifts. Never. Your gifts and all the things you've been given. Never, because there are kids, most importantly, yes, are watching, that are going to be inspired or wanting to see. There are those that are watching, and they're pushing for you to keep going. I'm satisfied. I'm at peace because I'm able to share this. I'm able to speak about my story. And then if anyone has the courage or nerve to come and say, oh, well, the past, guess what? I don't live there anymore. And if people want to have something to say about what you've done and who you are and who you used to be, just show them where you at now. You don't have to say nothing because truly everyone has gone through something. I had to forgive myself. I have to forgive others. But one thing I realize is that to make peace with what you have done and realize that your happiness isn't dependent on who or what and why and when. It's more of the now and being in gratitude for now. Because I don't have guilt, regret, or anything for what has happened in the past. You know, I had to go speak and to some of those women. I had to speak to those women. I had to go do things that most don't even have the courage to do. I had to do those things so the daughter that I co-created, Aliyah Divine, doesn't have to carry those burdens. And so that I have to forgive myself and forgive my mother and forgive um, those other women or whatever it is I had, most importantly myself, for the connection so I can release that burden, release that baggage so I don't have to live with that in my psyche or my subconscious. So I don't have to carry that resentment moving forward with any woman or her mother. And that's why I tell people it's important for you to face what your mother and father or great grandmother or grandmother or, great grandfather, whomever, didn't face in this lifetime. Some of us have gifts that uh, some of our ancestors wasn't able to live out because either they left this world in a way that it wasn't peaceful. Some of we see our parents, like, and there's nothing we can do about it. We see them and they may not understand or understand why we do what we do as artists. But you never give up. They don't see what you see. They don't see the vision, but they're a part of it. They are just as part of it as anyone else. Everyone that was a part of my journey, I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I refuse to hold anything against anyone about like what has happened in the past because there's certain moments this person may have had the car, or this person may have had the money to get the canvas, or this person may have had this, and everyone was a puzzle piece. And you realize that it was all purposeful. Even things that had happened up to this moment, it had to happen. I shared with my mother earlier, like, look, I'm at a place where, let's just have fun because so many people are departing from this earth and so many things are happening. And I share with her, like, if there's anything that's for certain or guaranteed in this lifetime, that's physical death. So meaning that, you know, what are we gonna do now? Are we gonna have fun? Let's just create beautiful memories. Let's love life on purpose for a change. It's so easy to get distracted by the worldly things or things that really it's not going to matter 5 months, 5 seconds, 5 days, or whatever from now. How can we create memories now? How can we heal from the past? And so that's what I realize is that we have the choice to change that narrative. And some of us have that gift to show uh, we're given this gift to face those things that others in our family won't face. We're creating families, or we will create families that will change the narrative of what a family is and create a tribe aspect to where people, other mothers can actually get along, or other people can get along from other cultures and backgrounds and whatever it is they choose to, however they choose to live in their free will. It's about creating that. Everyone's not going to be on the same page. That's all right. But as long as you stay true to you, I stay true to me as an artist because I love me. I love loving me as a man that mentally, a lot of us growing up, it's not just the physical. abuse. It's the mental abuse, you know, attracting people um, that actually knows how to speak to us genuinely, that speaks beautifully and gracefully. And I had to learn to embrace that and give that to myself. So just know, don't give up on yourself. A lot of us are going through moments where, especially as artists, we have to go through moments with ourselves to create things such as this, because we see this within ourselves, but at the same moment we're wanting to create that reality as well, that beauty outwardly, not just inwardly. We can feel these things, but also mentally. Some of us are going through or waging war within our own minds or within our own spirits. And it can be a lot, not only for fathers, new mothers, or mothers to be, and all those things. So I really, um, I know and have faith that this will touch someone. And yeah, at this moment, I really want to. One thing I do know, at the bottom, you see like the eye, all seeing eye, the eye of Ra, the eye of Horus. And this is actually Aaliyah's footprint and me and her mother's thumbprint. So that was his signature at the moment. So at this moment, I don't know if it's like a 30 by 48. I'm at a place like I am ready to, how can I say, release this masterpiece. And I would actually like to do like the highest bid. And however, anyone, whoever sees this video can help with that. Because this is just going towards creating more masterpieces. Actually, yeah, creating more masterpieces and traveling, and yeah, that's what I really do it for, man. It's like, and also to help those. This masterpieces isn't just created for that. It's more like, if people are wondering, like, artists, we really, for me, at the same moment, I tell myself it's not so much of the money, but at the same time, like, all artists wants to make a living or create a living off of what they love to do. I've always been patient because I know that the right persons or person will see it, or individual, and that will boom, ripple effect. Other than that, it's more I love traveling. Is very mental because it gives me a way of seeing more things visually and then creating more things wherever I'm at, um, and sharing that gift with others to be able to see whether whomever it is around. And so also foundation, and that's where I'm at. It's like having that foundation of where is it that I want to be to create masterpieces. Uh, and that's where I feel like part of releasing this masterpiece. It's like someone was like, no one's gonna know your value until you do. Because I will always give generously, like, here you go, here you go, here you go, to those that are accepting. And so that's why you see on my videos, I was like, oh, I'm open to love or gratitude donations. And that's solely because we have to make way for what we create, our content and everything else, and to create more for the world. And as some people don't really know, as artists, or you're creating things, it's not as easy as, oh, someone going to get a 9 to 5, or someone getting up and, oh yeah, I just made this and this. Trust me, man. I trust and know that the world is changing, and the world will be focused more on the creative aspect, the well-being. I always speak of like the mental well-being and the nurturing. And this is why, as an artist, it's like this is all in one. Um, this is the creative aspect of like what we go through, what I'm going through, or what I went through, and then to be able to tell that story or create that storyline on a masterpiece without saying it. And so that's like helps me mentally focus. And for those that hey, I actually love listening to all types of music, but classical and jazz are very one that really helps me focus, or some type of meditational music that keeps the flow going to help me keep focused. Um, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, and tribal music, depending on what I'm creating, because it's like a energy in a way, like you're channeling something. And, I love you. I know this video kind of looks like it's dark, but I feel like I have the perfect lighting. The other light just turned up. I feel like it got too hot. But I would love to see this go for like, man, if I really could put a price on something like this, wow, the story behind it, I know this can go for, I can start a bidding at like 50,000, and I know it can go for 100. I know it can go for 20 million. Because truthfully, I do not put a value on my life, because no amount of money can withstand the peace that I have within. It's the more of what can be created from, even like I said before, this was $5 paint or lower than that, but it's what one uses as their gift to actually focus and create from it. Even though like I was speaking about my childhood, I actually been drawing from uh, kindergarten, pre-K, whatever they call it, daycare days. And so I'm not giving up. It's like the inner essence in my higher child keeps calling. And there's more. You're going to see me in the world. You're going to see me everywhere. And for those that, I don't care if you don't like me, but you're going to love what I create. You're going to love it. Because I love it. And there's more. There's more I'm going to share. And there's nothing or no one that can get in the way. So those that do want to help, I appreciate you. Those that wish they could, I still feel you. And I know you can. And I know you will, just by simply watching, sharing, subscribing, or whatever. This is just to show you never to give up on yourself, on your vision, on your dreams, because there are those that will step in when you least expect it. It will just boom. But yeah, things that is going, just never stop, man. Never stop, because you didn't come here to quit. I'm just grateful to be able to share this with y'all, because this is not just my legacy. This legacy is bigger than me. That's what makes this shit so fun, man. I'm telling you, this bigger than me. Meaning there's others too to come. That right there should tell you everything. Okay. That butterfly now is already flying. So you about to see me, man. Just know that. And let me tell you something about your enemies. If there's no enemy within, there's no enemy without. And just know that even if there are enemies, you're untouchable. They know it. And actually, the Creator has a way of using your enemies to spread your name. And those that, no matter what, they try to speak on your name or speak down or use your name, shit on you or whatever, remember to use remember to use it as fertilizer. Because guess what? They're only helping you grow. So yeah, let's see this. Y'all share this. Let's see this thing go for about 50,000, 100,000, a million, 20 million. Because it's going to open doors for everyone. I'm telling you, there's so much more I got that I'm going to share. This is just like the tip of the iceberg. I'm unstoppable. We unstoppable. You unstoppable. We untouchable. We immovable. We are limitless. I am limitless. I am boundless. I am loved. I am divine love. I am supreme. They know it. We know this. So peace and love, light, clarity. You are the light in your darkness. Just know it. Just breathe. And continue to shine bright. Someone's always watching. Just as long as your intentions are pure and you're sincere to what you're doing, that's going to protect you. Okay? Shalom.